Let's get right into it. Number 10. Instant balloon animal. So, you're floating in the void, no space suit, just vibes. The first thing that happens isn't an explosive kaboom, contrary to every B-movie ever. You don't detonate like a bad science project. Instead, your body does the less cinematic but still horrifying thing. It puffs up like a balloon left too long in the sun. That's because the pressure inside you, air in your lungs, gases dissolved in your blood, suddenly finds itself in a universe where the outside pressure is basically zero. Nature hates imbalances, so the inside gases expand, turning you into a squishy Michelin Man version of yourself. Now, your skin is tougher than Hollywood gives it credit for. It won't just rip open like a cheap grocery bag, but your tissues do swell, your veins bulge, and if you forgot to exhale before your little space-streaking adventure, congrats, your lungs just decided to shred themselves like wet paper in a shredder. The air trapped inside expands, tearing delicate alveoli and basically saying, sayonara, oxygen exchange. And here's the kicker, this swelling doesn't kill you instantly. Oh no. Your body still clings to life, desperately trying to figure out what just happened, like a Wi-Fi router after a thunderstorm. So while you won't explode, you'll definitely puff up just enough that if aliens find you, you'll look like a horrifying parade float. Number 9. Frostbite without the frost. Here's the classic misconception. Space is cold, so the second you step outside, you're instantly frozen like a bag of peas. Except, not really. Freezing needs something to suck heat away from you, like air, water, or that metal chair you regret sitting on in winter. Space doesn't have that. No air, no convection, nothing cozy to whisk your heat away. So instead of freezing, you start to cook. Slowly. And unevenly. The side of you facing the sun? That's getting blasted by unfiltered solar radiation, hotter than a car dashboard in August. Meanwhile, the shady side of you chills down to hundreds of degrees below zero. Your body becomes a tragic rotisserie chicken, half burnt, half frozen, and not remotely appetizing. But here's the worst part. Sweat, saliva, the moisture on your tongue, they all boil away instantly. Yep, boil. Because in a vacuum, liquid doesn't need heat to boil, it just needs the absence of pressure. So you'd feel your spit fizzing like a cheap soda in your mouth while your eyes bubble up into something you definitely don't want to see in a mirror. It's like your body decided to cosplay as a boiling pot of pasta water. Bottom line? You're not an ice cube, you're more of a sizzling, steaming meat popsicle. Number 8. Oxygen bankruptcy. Let's talk about the big one. Oxygen. Your brain is basically a diva. It demands a constant supply, and when it doesn't get one, it throws a tantrum faster than a toddler in a toy store. Within 10 seconds of being in space, your blood oxygen plummets, your vision tunnels, your ears ring, and you black out. It's less heroic astronaut last stand, and more. I stood up too fast after sitting for too long. Now, here's where things get spooky. Your body still has oxygen dissolved in the blood, so for a few moments, cells keep chugging along like nothing's wrong. But very quickly, carbon dioxide builds up, blood pH goes haywire, and your brain goes offline. You're unconscious before you can even say, "Houston, we have a problem." If by some miracle you were dragged back inside within about a minute or so, you might actually survive, although you'd wake up with the world's worst case of the bends, your organs hating you, and a newfound respect for helmets. But after about 90 seconds? That's when your brain cells start dying for good, and space wins. Basically, it's like suffocating, drowning, and fainting all rolled into one. Only you look way less dignified while doing it. Number 7. Cosmic sunburn. Picture this. You're lying on the beach, forgot your sunscreen, and now you're a walking tomato. Now crank that up to angry God shooting UV death rays at you with no atmosphere to filter them. That's what space does to your skin in seconds. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun doesn't politely tan you. It scorches you like a bug under a magnifying glass. And it's not just UV. You've also got X-rays and gamma rays, the overachievers of the electromagnetic spectrum. These guys don't stop at frying your skin. They can mess with your DNA, shred your cells, and give you radiation sickness if you somehow survived long enough to feel it. Basically, your skin cells are playing Russian roulette with mutations. Congratulations, you're the unwilling star of The Fantastic Four Cosmic Barbecue Edition. And if you're not facing the sun, don't worry, cosmic rays got your back. Literally. These are high-energy particles zipping through space that treat your body like Swiss cheese, punching through cells like tiny bullets. You won't feel it immediately, but your insides will look like they've been through a microscopic food processor. So, whether you're basking in direct sunlight or lurking in shadow, space is out to ruin your epidermis and then some. Number 6. Boiling blood drama. Your blood, lovely as it is supposed to stay in liquid form inside you. That's like its whole job. But in the vacuum of space, the pressure drops so low that liquids, including blood, can start boiling at body temperature. Don't panic. Your blood won't literally bubble in your veins. Your circulatory system keeps some pressure in check. But the exposed parts, like saliva, tears, and any open wounds, will happily start fizzing like a soda can shaken by an angry toddler. This process even has a fun sci-fi sounding name, ebulism, which is basically your body's polite way of saying, whoops, your fluids are boiling without heat. Enjoy. The result? Puffy skin, swelling tissues, and a general sense that your body is auditioning for a Cronenberg film. And here's where it gets grossly fascinating. Your tongue would feel like it's cooking, your spit would bubble away, and your eyes might start to form little boils of their own. Yep, space gives you a free spa treatment, but it's the kind you'd never want a gift card for. The cherry on top? If you survive, the swelling actually goes down once you're repressurized. You'd look mostly normal again, aside from the trauma of literally bubbling from the inside out. Number 5. Nerve system meltdown. Your nervous system is like a clingy best friend. It just can't handle when things change suddenly. In space, with no oxygen and pressure, the electrical circuits in your body start to misfire. Neurons go haywire, muscles spasm, and you could find yourself twitching like you're breakdancing in zero gravity. This is your brain's equivalent of blue screening. Without oxygen, the neurons stop firing properly, and your body might seize up. Sometimes astronauts in training black out in altitude chambers, and their bodies do this weird marionette puppet flop. That's you, only in space. You don't get the luxury of waking up with a sheepish grin. And here's the kicker, the lack of pressure screws with your inner ear too. Your balance center suddenly has no reference point, which means if you were conscious, you won't be for long, you'd feel an endless falling sensation. Think roller coaster drop, but forever, and with no one taking your picture mid-scream for Instagram. Basically, your nervous system isn't calmly shutting down. It's rage quitting, slamming the door on its way out. Number 4. The eye horror show. So, you know that moment when you cut onions and your eyes sting and water uncontrollably? Multiply that by infinity and add a dash of nightmare fuel. That's what your eyeballs do in space without a suit. Since the pressure outside is basically nothing, the liquid on the surface of your eyes, tears, that protective film, starts boiling off. Not only does that leave your eyes painfully dry, but they can also literally start to swell. Imagine your vision wobbling like a cheap camera lens trying to autofocus, while your eyes quietly attempt to balloon out of their sockets. But it doesn't stop there. Cosmic radiation? Oh, it has a field day with your retinas. Astronauts have reported seeing flashes of light while in space with suits on, because high-energy particles zoom straight through their eyes, lighting up the optic nerve like a busted neon sign. Without protection, it's even worse. You're basically hosting a rave in your eyeballs, and the strobe lights are made of radiation. So between boiling tears, swollen eyeballs, and involuntary cosmic light shows, your eyes become the worst IMAX theater imaginable. Forget 3D glasses. This is pure body horror cinema, playing exclusively inside your skull. Number 3. Blood vessel betrayal. Here's a fun party trick your body pulls. The tiny blood vessels closest to the skin are the first to revolt. With the lack of pressure, they dilate, rupture, and leak blood under the skin. The result? You look like you've been in the world's weirdest paintball fight, except it's just bruises blooming all over you. And those vessels in your brain? They're even touchier. As oxygen levels crash, The brain's blood vessels widen in a desperate attempt to grab more oxygen. Spoiler, there is none. So instead of helping, this just makes the situation worse, increasing pressure in the skull, leading to headaches, disorientation, and if you're unlucky enough to stay conscious, the sensation of your brain being too big for your head. On top of that, the gas bubbles forming in your bloodstream thanks to embolism? Yeah, they love to clog vessels like hair in a shower drain. This is basically the bends, but dialed up to cosmic levels. So while your circulatory system is supposed to be your ride or die in space, it just shrugs and lets everything leak, pop, and clog until you're a messy bag of malfunctions. Number 2, gut instinct gone wrong. Your stomach and intestines don't exactly love pressure changes either. Remember all those gases trapped inside you? Burps, farts, the whole digestive opera? Well, in a vacuum, those gases expand dramatically. So instead of a polite burp, you're looking at gut expansion that makes you feel like a balloon animal slowly inflating from the inside. The real kicker is your gut bacteria. These little freeloaders are still alive and producing gas, and without normal pressure to keep things in check, it's like they've been given a license to party. You'd literally bloat from bacterial activity as your intestines turn into the saddest hot air balloon ever. And no, you can't just let it out, because your body is too busy shutting down every critical system to care about your digestive complaints. So while you're puffing up on the outside from embolism, you're also ballooning on the inside thanks to your gut. Space doesn't just want to kill you, it wants to make sure you go out looking like the least flattering parade float in history. Number 1. The final freeze-dry. Alright, so let's say you didn't get rescued in that slim, heroic 1-minute window. What happens next? Well, once your brain's done shutting down, your heart finally taps out, and your body enters what can only be described as vacuum jerky mode. With no oxygen, no circulation, and no pressure, your tissues start to dehydrate. Slowly, the water in your body sublimates, meaning it skips the whole liquid stage and turns straight into vapor. Over time, this leaves your corpse freeze-dried, like a sad astronaut snack left out too long. Your muscles stiffen, your skin shrivels, and you become this weird, leathery husk drifting through the void. Space doesn't do bacteria or rot very well, since there's nothing alive out there to eat you. So instead of decomposing like on Earth, you're preserved. If you're in sunlight, you might get slowly cooked and bleached, like an overexposed action figure. If you're in shadow, you'll chill indefinitely, like a popsicle nobody ordered. And here's the kicker. Your body could stay like that for millions of years. Perfectly intact, just floating around, waiting for someone, or something, to stumble across you. Imagine being an alien archaeologist's weird discovery. Yes, the ancient Earth creature known as Balloon Husk Man. You won't just die in space, you'll get immortalized as one of the universe's ugliest collectibles. So yeah, exposure to space isn't instant death. It's a whole buffet of horrifying malfunctions, each one competing to ruin you before the others get their turn. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.